What is up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be talking about a change that went live a few hours after yesterday's update, and that is going to be that the Mammoth Pistol was nerfed. If you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful or informative, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more, and comment down below what you think of the Mammoth Pistol nerf. Is it still very good, or are you not going to be using it anymore? So for starters, this is the nerf. Fortnite Status tweeted this. That is that slightly reduced damage at longer range and slightly reduced headshot multiplier is what the Mammoth Pistol got. The biggest change of this is that it has damage drop off at all, whereas previously it didn't have any damage drop off regardless of range. So across the map, you could be hitting people for 100 plus or like 99 body damage and close to 200 headshot damage if you had the heavy headshot augment. That is no longer the case. You are going to see some damage drop off at range, but it's not the biggest deal. The damage drop off was about 10 less damage in medium range and all the way down to 15 less damage at long range, and the headshot multiplier was reduced from 1.85 to 1.75. So where you're really going to notice this the most is going to be on long range headshots, because that is going to be when you're getting both the long range damage nerf and the headshot multiplier nerf. And we're going to get into what those changes mean, because I actually did test this in creative using the gold Mammoth Pistol. I'm not sure if rarity affects range at all, so these numbers might be a little off depending on which rarity you have. But either way, it's just more of like a gist as far as what changed, and like the exact numbers I don't think are the biggest deal. Close range, the gold one still does 99 damage to the body and will hit for 173 to the head, and it will retain that damage up to 36 meters. So anything 36 meters or before, you're still going to be doing 99 damage and 173 to the head with the gold version. That's still very good damage, and it's very comparable to where it was before. It is going to be a little bit less because of that headshot reduction, but it's fine. And the damage drop off is going to start past 36 meters. Like I said, once you get further out from that, you'll start to see some reduction in damage. The way the range goes is it kind of decreases the further you are away from the target, and it's not just a flat, okay, you're this far away, you do this damage until this point. So it's hard to like kind of find exactly every range where the damage drop off happens, but it starts at 36 meters and it goes on for a while. The point at which you're going to be getting your lowest damage, where you're going to be losing that 15 damage, is going to be at 108 meters. So it is incredibly far. As you can see in this clip here, I can barely even see the person I'm aiming at, and this is in a creative match. And at this range, it's going to be 131 headshot damage and then about 74 body damage, like we talked about before. So at really long range, you are really going to notice it. 131 headshot damage is much less than like the 180 it would have been before on the gold one. I'm not sure exactly what it is. And then you will notice that body shot 15 damage reduction. But like I said, it takes 108 meters to get to that point. So most of the time, the heavy aspect of the nerf, the long range damage, isn't going to apply to you. And like I said, it will vary downward starting at 36 meters all the way to 108. So depending on how far away from your target you are, you will get slightly less damage. But 108 meters is when you're reaching the lowest point of the weapon's damage. And that's not going to be most of your fights. Those are obviously very specific scenarios where you're going to be shooting someone that far away with this pistol. It certainly does happen, but those are going to be the fights where you notice a damage reduction nerf. So overall, I think the nerf is definitely noticeable. It does change the game. Going from having no damage drop off at all regardless of range to having damage drop off is a ridiculous, that's a big difference, And then also it does lose a decent amount of damage at long range, and you will notice it, especially on the lower rarity weapons, which already have less damage, or the lower rarity versions. If the gold is hitting for 131 headshot, the other ones are going to be hitting for lower. You know what I mean? But I don't really think this changes much in terms of how good is the Mammoth Pistol. I think it's still one of the best weapons in the game, probably an S tier weapon. You're just not going to be nuking people from across the map anymore. And it's certainly not irrelevant. If you get tagged for 74 body damage, that's still an amount of damage that you have to be concerned about. Obviously, in zero build, we have the overshield, so you're only going to take like 20 real damage off that. But the long range headshot being 131 still that is not something you can ignore. And like I already have said several times, it takes 108 meters to get to that point. In some of the medium range shots, you're still going to be doing like 150, 140 headshot damage on this pistol. So you're still going to be doing a lot of damage to people. And in the close medium range fights, it's still going to be one of those shots where it's like you hit so hard that you get so much pressure in that fight, and then you're able to translate that into a potential kill. I think that is what has made the Mammoth pistol so good, is that it's just one shot is such a game changer, and in close to medium range fights, you know. Long range, sure, it was nice to hit for 180 damage, but oftentimes if they were that far away, you weren't going to be immediately able to do something about it, you know? Like they might have mobility to get away from you. They might have been gliding through the sky. That was kind of when I would have those really long range shots the most, was on people gliding. But with this change, I feel like it is a nerf, but it's not that big of a deal because, like I said, those long range shots were often going to be times where you, like, that kill was likely going to get away from you anyways, unless they were already basically dead at that point and you just finished them with the shot. But in close to medium range, the damage is still really, really good. It's still going to be a difference maker in fights, and I still think the Mammoth pistol is one of the best weapons in the game. So that is what changed with this pistol. It's still very good. It's a little more balanced than it was before. It's not going to be as annoying at long range, but it's still one of the best weapons in the game. I feel like a lot of players really overreact when they hear that something is nerfed, especially online. I saw people acting like Epic should have just removed the Mammoth pistol from the game rather than doing this, and like I said, I don't think it was that big of a deal. But that is how some people perceive nerf. They just see something was nerfed and they think, okay, this is bad now, I never want to use it. And that's just not the right mindset to have. Still one of the best weapons in the game. If they touch the accuracy, I could have seen it really affecting the weapon. If it got a larger spread and like much larger hipfire accuracy, or hipfire spread, sorry, then I think that would have really changed the effectiveness of the weapon in those close to medium range fights. But with being as accurate as it is and still hitting for as high as it hits in medium to long range fights, I don't really think you're going to have to change too much about how you play with this weapon, and you're still going to be able to dominate lobbies. In very long range fights, the MK probably will be the better choice, but I would kind of argue the MK was the better choice for super long range anyways, just because it's going to be more consistent and more reliable at those ranges, whereas like hitting 100+ meter shots with this pistol, it can happen, but it was always more inconvenient to use at longer range, I felt, than the MK. If you are someone who never really liked the Mammoth pistol and you just use the MK anyways, this is, you know, a benefit for you. Or if you were kind of on the fence about using the pistol, you can use the MK. I feel like the MK has always been a solid choice, even when this pistol was at its best. It's always just been good and consistent. And with the grapple glove in the game, once that came out, I actually kind of started liking the Mammoth pistol a little less, because it's very easy with the MK to stop the opponent from grappling and just hit one shot on them and kind of, you know, really flip their game upside down or what they had planned. But with the Mammoth pistol, it definitely is harder to hit those grappling players. And I felt like a lot of times when using the Mammoth pistol, like I would have games get to the states they wouldn't have gotten if I was using the MK instead of the pistol when playing against grapple players. So I think the Mammoth pistol is good. I think it's still very good. I think the MK is also a solid choice if you just don't want to bother with the pistol, or the nerf, you know, for some reason ruins the weapon for you. I think both are good, and both options are like fine for your medium to long range weapon. That is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys found this helpful, informative, interesting. If you did, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more, and comment down below what you think of the Mammoth pistol. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.